Greetings from Dunnet Head. It's 5:30 in the morning. Sounds bad, doesn't it? Been awake since 4:30 in the morning, and I was tossing and turning before that. Handy bit of advice. Don't try and sleep in a van on an exposed headland. You will get woken up early by windiness. I'm sure the sunshine shall prevail. Oh, is my hair gone? Here we go, nice and sleazy this morning. Quick coffee, and I've warmed up the butteries in the monkey. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's time to leave Dunnet Head and head for Orkney via Gills Bay and Pentland ferries. Well, I thought I'd have a nice early start and get to the terminal for Pentland ferries to go across to South Ronaldsay. I'm probably the first person here by the look of it. There's no ferry either. Well, check-in was easy. Tap on the window. Just the one here. Yeah. There you go. Lane 3. That was it. No ID, no questions, nothing. Brilliant. Now I'm just sitting and waiting at the terminal. Got about an hour and a half. So far, there's me in the camper. 3 people in a car and 1 person on a scooter. Sea is absolutely flat. The fog or mist has started to lift as well. It is overcast, hopefully that'll burn off later. Well, here comes the ferry. It's 9:15 and we're getting on very shortly, and 9:30 we sail. Embarkation begins. Here we go, we're off to Orkney. Well, here we go. I'm off to Orkney, heading for South Ronaldsay on the ferry. St Margaret's Hope next stop. Just leaving Gills Bay. Well, I was outside, but it got a little bit cold because it's quite blowy, and it's only about 13-14 degrees out there today because it's quite overcast. I'm looking for whales basically. There's a large pot of orcas off Stromness at the moment, which is completely the other side. There's also fin whales and minkies about, but every time I see a fin, it turns out to be a puffin. Oh, we're just pulling into the ferry terminal at St Margaret's Hope. Not really a lot to say. It's quite a picturesque little village. Here we go. Off the ferry and on to Orkney. Brilliant. Less than an hour. second now. Hey, I'm in Orkney. I've been wanting to come here for 5, 6, 7 years, since my research told me that this was the place to be. And out into open countryside. There's a couple of sunken boats and one of the Churchill barriers there protecting Scapa Flow, which is there behind me. We're going across the Churchill barrier. One of the old wrecks just across from me. There's wreckage both sides, there's lobster pots out. Nice little sandy beach. I could always jump in there with a cylinder, take a dive along that side, go and explore the wreck. Well, I know Rob doesn't like his to be hard. He likes nice soft oat cakes, as we made in Congleton, but I bought myself some Stocken's Orkney thick oat cakes, traditional whole grain oat cakes baked in Orkney, and just noticed that they're here next to the fire station. Stocken's oat cakes. I thought I'd better draw some cash out, seeing as I'm going to try and find some local produce. They give me these funny things. Well, I just tried to get rid of it. They give me one of these things. What's this thing? The Bridge of Doom. This is Stromness Harbour on mainland Orkney, and over here is the Stromness Hotel, headquarters of the Orkney and Shetland Defences, OSDEF. Commercial boats and fishing boats you'd expect in a harbour like this, but that's a little bit out of the ordinary. This is Stromness Harbour, and this pier is where my grandfather would have left to go over to Hoy in the distance. It's a beautifully constructed harbour, flat rock, Stromness Hotel behind, the steps up. The water's lovely and clear too, you can see the bottom 20 foot down. With Orkney being the ultimate goal of this expedition, it's time to fix a sticker. I think my grandfather would be pleased. Looks good. That's the first one I've put on. Suits it well. Quick stop for lunch. Got my Orkney thick oat cakes, my Orkney butter, my mature Orkney cheddar. Put it together. Look at that. And a fresh brewed coffee. So I'm just at Stromness in the harbour, and I'm going to head up to Bursay shortly and see if I can find some orcas. There's definitely worse places to eat oat cakes. I'm looking around, big wide open expanse here. I've just come to look for orcas. They're heading this way, unless I've already gone past. So fingers crossed. Nice place to stop and wait and look. Even so, I found something. A pair of Nikon binoculars. Cool. I might use those instead of the Leicas I've got in my bag. Look at this for a beautiful spot between Marwick and Bursay. That could be a cracking mansion. Now it's just a ruin. Well, I was sitting there at Stromness eating my oat cakes with my Orkney butter and me Orkney cheddar when I saw that there had been orcas spotted again at Marwick Head heading for Bursay. So I slammed myself into the van and tore across Marwick Head. Nothing. Bursay, nothing. I got to Bursay and I'm just too late. So they were apparently a couple of miles out by that point, heading for another island. So I've missed the orcas for now. However, I've just made a phone call to Orkney Ferries and booked myself a crossing for 3:15, which is 45 minutes or so away, and half an hour drive, and I have to get fuel first, to Hoy, so that I can spend the night at Hoy. So I'm going Houghton to Lynas, and yeah, because I've got to spend the first night on Hoy as close to Rysa Bay as possible. So without further ado, catch you later, Bill and Ted. Well, the sun is finally coming out, and it's coming out just as my ferry's coming in. I can see my ferry just down there. I'm just round the corner from the terminal. The sea, oh man, there's light blue, royal blue. Oh, it's fantastic. Now turning down to Houghton Pier for my ferry, which I need to be on in 1 minute. I need to be there in 1 minute. Cracking, huh? Perfect timing. If I hadn't made the call when I did, I'd have been stuck. Here we go. Right. There's my ferry. Here we go, we're off to Hoy, we're off to Hoy, we're off to Hoy. Ahoy hoy.
Well, Scapa Flow has turned out marvellous for me. The sun has finally burnt through, about 3:15. And over there in the distance I can see the gun sight.
Here we go, I'm disembarking the ferry from Houghton at Lynas and heading straight over to Rysa Bay gun battery. Straight ahead, Rysa Bay Lodge. Look at that.
Look at that view over Scapa. This is Rysa Bay Lodge where the base commander lived. There's my grandfather's van. And behind me, well, you'll see in a moment. There is one of the gun positions. Oh man, this is just fantastic. Right, here we go. Look, these metal bits. These are the holdfasts for the anti-aircraft guns. The 3.7 inch Vickers anti-aircraft guns. Let's go look at the second gun position. Anyone asking me where I wanted to end up on this trip, and where I wanted good weather and where I wanted access, the answer would have been H6 Rysa Lodge Gun Battery. Hoy. Now the question I don't know, of course, is which gun position my grandfather was on. Which one was B Troop or 2 section? Which one did he command? Now this one here has been converted into a greenhouse with a polycarbonate roof. Now I would expect it to be a massive coincidence if this was to be the one that he was on. My grandfather was a massively keen gardener. So here we are, approaching the last of the gun positions. Bit of damage to the front wall of one of these. You can keep your Stonehenge. To me, this is what it's all about. With or without the personal connection. This is tangible history to me. Through the ammunition lockers. Now this one needs a definite further exploration. You can go around the front here, 2 large windows there. Perhaps to shout the commands or to listen to the information and intelligence from the other 2 positions. Concrete pathway. As an officer, these are steps my grandfather would have gone down. There's even an old aluminium teapot on the wall here. Look at that. Bunker there. The other one just there. This is incredible. And there, the steps. You got some rungs which just beg to be climbed up, so that's what I'm going to do. So there you have it, from on top of the battery command post, gun battery, H6, Rysa Bay, on Hoy, Orkney, with Scapa Flow to your right, and Rysa Bay Lodge. Well, that was absolutely magnificent. So kind of the owner to let me just wander around at will. I've had a good couple of hours looking at the gun site. I'm made up. How could I not park up here tonight? Just down from Rysa Lodge. Just to the side of Scapa Flow. Just to the side of Widdy Gill. And just down from where the gun site was. Well, I'm going for a simple meal again tonight. Okay, I'm sticking with the Orkney butter and the mature Orkney cheddar, but I'm going to have it on an Orkney bear bannock. Bear bannocks are a staple food of Orcadians, and bear itself is a form of 6-row barley and is possibly the oldest cereal grain in cultivation in the UK, likely to have arrived with Viking settlers. So hopefully it's going to be quite nice. This is what the bear bannock looks like. Now it's very firm and quite dry. Easiest way to describe it, because I tasted a sliver. Imagine Shreddies, the cereal, okay, without the sweetness. Okay, it's kind of like a dry, very stodgy bread of that sort of flavour. It was actually very pleasing. Well, it was decent cold, but a little dry on the mouth. I reckon this is going to be better though. Just look at it. Ooze your goodness out, baby. Look at my neighbours. I'm very happy to be near you, but none of your lowing, okay? Not having you lowing. It wakes babies, so it'll wake me. Well, to you Orkney, a toast.